As we look back to the game against Pontypridd Town, women conceded a late goal, a late penalty miss. On the other hand, first away point of the season, off the bottom. Positives and negatives. What are your thoughts now as you look back to Sunday's game?
I think, in terms of football, in terms of the obvious sort of measures or metrics, you've stated the obvious ones that people tend to sort of like gather statistics on. Fundamentally, I think everybody looks at the bottom line, which is the result. What was the result at the end of the day? I've said on several occasions, for us at the moment, the results are secondary. It's all about the performances. So a lot of the progress and the improvement that we look for and that we identify is unseen by other people. In terms of where are we winning the ball, how many times do we win the ball in the opponent's half, how many touches do we get in their penalty box, and different metrics like that, which we as a club will understand and that we will use to identify our progress measures from the work that we're doing during the week in the training. So in terms of the performance, we were really, really happy with the performance. I slept really well Sunday night knowing that once again we'd made good progress and we're making good strides. It was unfortunate that at the end that we didn't get the result, but like I've said, the result is not the be all and end all. I said last week, there's no need for any panic at the moment. It was a nice point to get. It was a good point. I think it showed to Pontypridd the growth that we've made in the last 2 months, and I think again it was evident to ourselves.
You've mentioned statistics. We do like to bring them into the press conferences. The first 4 games for TNS women were 4 straight defeats. However, 4 points from the last 4. Do you feel that the corner has now been turned?
Yes, we most certainly do. I think there are various reasons for that. The season came too early for us, we weren't ready. There were various elements that were out of our control at that time, which have now sort of evaporated and are no longer issues. We've obviously added quality and numbers to the squad as well, which has brought age and experience. Up until playing Swansea here a couple of weeks ago, the team that was on the pitch had 44 first tier appearances amongst them. Now obviously at this level, when you're fighting against teams that have been in the top tier for years and years and years, 44 appearances spread across 11 players just isn't enough. So the more experience that we can get, the quicker that we can understand this league, the better. The last month has allowed us to do that because we've played everybody now. We've got an analyst on board as well, which we didn't have at the start of the season, and she's doing a fantastic job. And we've got a new physio in, and again, he's doing a fantastic job in making sure that we get players on the pitch and available, etc. So we're in a better position off the pitch as well as on the pitch, which obviously is affecting performances, which ultimately will affect the results.
They're all big games, of course. This coming Sunday is a massive game. It's the battle of the bottom 2, an opportunity for the New Saints against Barrytown United ladies to start to pull away. Would you see this as a must-not-lose game as opposed to a must-win one?
Personally, no. I think we've had several conversations with different people. This is not the World Cup final or the Champions League final. So at the end of the day, it's a game of football between 2 sets of 11 players and 2 different teams and 2 different clubs, both probably all fighting for the same thing. Fundamentally, again, we will go into this game looking for improvement, whether that's individually, collectively within the unit, or collectively across the team. And if we can do that, we'll put on a good show, we'll acquit ourselves well, and we'll accrue lots of different metrics. Hopefully those metrics will align to the bottom end result that everybody aspires for, which is the victory and the 3 points. It's game day now. There's plenty of football left in this season, in this league just yet, and we'll just take it week by week.
And no doubt, as far as your preparations are concerned, it will be all about TNS. But how much consideration will you give to the opponent this coming Sunday in terms of both their strengths and their weaknesses?
Yeah, I think, fundamentally, again, we want to concentrate on our strengths, but we can't dismiss the opposition. It would be foolish not to pay them some respect. They have given us an absolute beating this season, so we know what their key strengths are. We know that they're a danger. We know that they're strong and powerful and can score goals. Equally, we know at the other end that they're difficult to play against in terms of breaking down and getting in behind. We've experienced that already. So we've got some experience that we can draw on to come up with a game plan that we believe will assist us this week in getting the better of them and you know, hopefully turning the tables on them. You know, it won't be anywhere near 7-2, I'm sure of that. You know, I'm sure it'll be a very, very close game, but obviously we want to repay the favour to them in return for what we suffered. That was a really dark day. It was one of the worst moments of my managerial career, for sure. You know, it was an unbelievable defeat on match day 2 in a new division, so it wasn't very savoury, but you know, we'll use that defeat as motivation to want to compete on the day and to do better than we did last time.
You've already made reference to my next question, actually, because previously in a previous press conference we did mention the benefits of Greg Draper and Sarah in terms of coaching experience, Nicola coming on board as a video analyst. You've now got James Steer as well, looking after the medical side of things. How important is this as you build an effective backroom staff and that then plays itself out on the pitch?
Yeah, it's hugely important, of course. You know, it's a multidisciplinary approach. We can't do this just as coaches ourselves. We need different people around us, and as you say, you know, we've got James who's done a wonderful job. We've struggled in keeping players fit and getting those injured players back on the pitch quickly enough. James has done an incredible job for us over the last 6 weeks or so since coming in making sure that not only have we got proper care and player welfare for these individuals, but also the wraparound care that he provides to them. So he provides emotional and psychological support for them, as well as the treatment of injury. And he's keeping scrupulous records and providing me with information around rehabilitation and getting these players back and when we can expect to get them back. Now that's a vital sort of cog in the network of any football team. And you know, it's right that you should mention James, and it's great that, you know, we're having a conversation about him, because we can't operate without him. And I think, you know, the results and the performances that we've got over the last month is largely down to him, as it is down to Sarah, Greg and Nicola and myself. So he's playing a really, really key role for us, and I think the players are benefiting from that. I'm sure that the players are most appreciative of his work, just as I am as the manager and we are as the coaching staff. And
finally, Andy, in terms of player availability, are you looking at a full squad to choose from this weekend?
Well, similarly to last week, we've got, you know, the odd niggle here, there and everywhere with bumps and bruises and slight strains, but we're optimistic. Everybody's due to train today, so we're optimistic that we'll have a full team to pick from come the weekend, you know, fingers crossed, barring accident and injury tonight. So as I said in one of my previous questions, we're hopeful that we can get a competitive 11 on the pitch, ready to do ourselves justice and to perform as well as we can.